Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the what's kind of become the 10K sub special, I suppose. I had nothing else really lined up. This came way faster than I was expecting. So I announced this well over a month ago. I apologize about that. I wanted to get this done before the Danzig retrospective, but then that Motley Crue video did way better than I thought it would. So I kind of chased that with other related sort of videos. Well, video. And also, I noticed that I was going to get to 10K subs sooner than I thought. Like, I thought it would be at least till next year till I was going to hit it. But because of the success of that video, I realized, oh shit, I'm actually going to hit it really quick, really soon. Holy shit. So I want to like hold this off and make it a sort of special. And I may have waited a bit too long anyways. How dare you guys subscribe? Fuck you. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Like, I remember for a while the channel was doing really bad, and I thought, like, it took the longest time for this channel to get to 1,000 subs, and I thought we would never get even here. So thank you guys so much. It really means a lot. And I'm gonna try and get some more videos done by the end of the year, hopefully, some quicker ones, hopefully. And yeah, and more retrospectives coming next year. I got some plans, don't you worry. I already have a script completed. I want to apologize for making you guys wait so long. This shouldn't have taken as long as it did, but it's me. Are you guys really surprised? Anyway, let's get on to the first question. Bubble Bass Deluxe asks, what's the best fast food pizza place? That's the way to start off this video, I suppose. The best pizza places will always be your local joints, your local places. The chains are okay if you want something convenient, quick, dirty, and greasy. You know, I'll hit the spot. But your local chains will always be the best ones. The ones that are independently owned, you know, and like owned by real people you can actually meet. You're not going to meet the owner of Domino's just hanging out. Besides, Domino's and Pizza Hut just suck nowadays anyway, so if you're going to get pizza, go through your independent places, always. Jack Hayes asks, what's your favorite animated movie? I have a lot of nostalgia for the first Toy Story. I had that shit on VHS and I watched it all the time. Monsters, Inc. is fantastic, of course. That's probably my favorite gun to my head, if you had to ask me. Probably Monsters, Inc. I love that movie to death. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. That's also an obvious one. Shrek, again, I rewatched that movie, I don't know, like a year ago with my buddies for the first time in a long while, and still love that movie so much. It's just such a great comfort movie. I guess also the first Alice in Wonderland from like the 30s or whatever. I watched that a lot as a kid too. Love it as well. But my favorite's gotta be Monsters, Inc. Just, that movie just hits me, you know? He also asks, has there ever been a song that made you cry? There's been a few, not too many, but it's mainly because I don't really cry a whole lot. I don't say that because I'm tough. I'm not tough. I say that because, I don't know, I'm just really weird like that. I just don't cry very much. But the main one that comes to mind, the first one, is the Posies, You Avoid Parties. I've definitely cried to that. Jesus, if you want to be devastated by a track, there's that one. Let the Bad Times Roll by Paul Westerberg, another devastating song. Caroline No by the Beach Boys, pretty much the entirety of Pet Sounds. Atmospheres by Joy Division, that has definitely got me teary-eyed, especially when I saw Peter Hook play that live with his band. Like, Jesus, that kind of hit me. Like, even in public, that brought a tear to my eye, which really surprised me. From Risley, did you go to the End of the Road tour? And if so, what's your opinion on it? No, I didn't. I had ample opportunity. I mean, they came to Australia a couple times, I think. They kept coming and the tour kept getting canceled, so that, and like, kept getting rescheduled. It was really funny. But I've already seen Kiss twice. I saw them 2008 and saw them 2012 with Motley Crue. Don't really have much want to see them again. Play the same old tired set list that I've, seen them do, at least on those two nights, and especially all the live footage I've seen over the years. There's that, and there's also Paul's voice. There was the backing tracks thing, which really wasn't into at all. The whole thing about it just seemed really toxic, and I didn't want really anything to do with it. My sister was vaguely interested in going, and I said, look, I'll go if you go, but just so you know, Paul's been lip syncing on this tour. And as soon as I told her that, she said, fuck that, and didn't want to spend her money on it. That would have been my one excuse sort of to buy a ticket for myself, but yeah, nah. But on the bright side, they did actually come back to Australia just to play one show in Sydney, but they brought Weezer with them, So Weezer actually played some sideshows in Melbourne and I think Queensland. So I got to see Weezer play their own headline set with Regurgitator opening for them. If you don't know them, look them up. They're a really cool, eclectic Australian band. So yeah, I got to see Weezer because of that. So thanks, Kiss. Kurt Kilmister asks, if you could go to your dream festival with your dream lineup, who would it be? I don't know, I guess the Misfits. The fact I still haven't seen that fucking band, despite them being reunited for years, really fucking pisses me off. Manic Street Preachers, I have yet to see them live, so that's bullshit. So, you know, they're definitely on the docket. Depeche Mode, again, these are bands who are big and play big places. They just don't come to Australia very much, if at all. Add the Damned to that too. I suppose the Replacements. There's a lot of bands I still have yet to see. EdaTube asks, if you could play a set with any musicians, dead or alive, who would you play with? God, I'd be terrified to play to play with some musicians. Jeez, it's got to be something fun and lighthearted, so probably some punk bands. I'd say maybe the Damned, you know, they seem like a lot of fun, and if I fuck up, I don't think they'll get mad at me. You've made reviews for some acts that weren't hard rock / heavy metal. Who are some non-rock singers and musicians you think would play well in a rock band? Prince. There's a live version of I Can Never Take the Place of Your Man on YouTube, and the ending section is just him ripping. So fucking good. He can shred, and he can shred really tastefully, and I love this tone. I mean, like, he's just an all-around fantastic musician. Like, I would love to see him in a more rock context. He's made some more rocking songs. There's the song Bambi. That song's pretty rocking, and he has some other rockers, for example, and obviously some more rock elements in even his more poppy works, but Prince would be fantastic. If you could listen to one album and watch one movie during a fight, which would they be? Why would you want to watch a movie during the fight? It seems kind of productive. I'm being a prick. I guess it has to be Raging Bull. Even though that movie is just kind of sad, I don't think it would get me in the mood to fight someone, but it looks fucking gorgeous, so I suppose that one. And album-wise, I guess it's something that could kind of fit with Raging Bull, I suppose, if you play them at the same time. I'll go with The Process by Skinny Puppy, because why the fuck not? Drew, whom you may recognize from the James and Friends videos, asks, if you can choose 4 bands for a single concert in non-specific order, who's playing opening? I kind of already answered this before, so I guess go back. You can choose the set lists for one of the bands, though, in which case I would make sure that the Manic Street Preachers play the entirety of the Holy Bible, because, God, that's one of my favorite albums of all time, and the fact they don't play stuff from that live very often, it's kind of a little bit bonkers. Depeche Mode, just mainly play the Alan Wilder era stuff. Ideally bring him out, but that wouldn't happen. But, you know, like that era stuff, maybe some Ultra, some Playing the Angel, but mostly the classic stuff. The Misfits, I mean, they mostly play the classics. That's all they play. All they play is the classic stuff, so I can't really bitch. Which Woodstock would you have liked to have gone to? Come on, it's got to be the original. I mean, I'm not particularly enamored by most of the bands on the original Woodstock, but come on, that would have been an experience, just rolling around in the mud, high out of your mind, having sex with strangers. I mean, hell, what the hell is not to love? Though, part of me would also like to go to Woodstock 99 just to be on the ground level, just to see exactly how it was like, but that's more out of morbid curiosity. Gruh asked, what happened to the Alice Cooper retrospective? I love that video. That is still available, they're just in playlists unlisted. I made that video when I was 17, 18, and not my best work, to put it lightly, so I don't really want it public, but it's in a couple of I think it's in the main retrospectives playlist, so you can watch it unlisted there. Like, I don't want to get rid of any of my videos, like delete them. I've done that very few times. Every video I've made is still like at least uploaded privately or unlisted. So yeah, you can still watch it through playlist, and I think I have a specific playlist where I have nothing but unlisted videos, because some videos I'm just not very proud of, and I don't want that to be someone's like first like view of me, especially because I remember getting comments on that video somewhat recently saying like, wow, this guy's a loudmouth and annoying, and yeah, I agree. That version of myself was a loudmouth and also very annoying, but you know, it was also part of my history, but I just don't want that to be someone's first impression of me, basically. So you can still watch it, basically, that's what I'm trying to say. Everything I've ever made, you can still watch from in old playlists. The Dinkster asks, you gave your thoughts on Ozzy, Dio, and Ian Gillan in the video about Black Sabbath's Born Again, so I was wondering, what do you think of Tony Martin and his albums for Black Sabbath? Not a fan at all. Tony Martin might be a nice guy, but God, his voice is so like generic to me. He kind of sounds like, to me, Discount Dio. I might be disrespectful to him and his talents, but just does nothing for me. I've given those albums enough chances, and to me, it's really not Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath, to me, is mainly the original four and their chemistry and how that worked. And to a lesser extent, same thing with Dio. And I say this as someone who prefers, the Dio albums, but the original band really, that's Black Sabbath. I can't really describe it. It's just in the vibe and the feel and how those guys work together. Same thing again to a lesser extent with the Ian Gillan album, Born Again, because it's still mostly the same band. Swedish commentator Marcus asks, more album reactions, perhaps some Limp Bizkit or Overkill? After this last James and Friends, we want to change it over from a video series to a live streaming series, because that's something that just seems more fun. And I think editing these videos for Drew has become a bit of a nightmare for him and a chore, and I don't want to put my friend through that, so we're gonna change it over to live streaming, and we'll probably listen to everything, like even albums we like, for instance. Because if it's a live stream, I see no reason why. We can do a lot of things. Whereas if we're doing it for a video, I would always have to think, I have to do something that'll be good for a video, something we'll laugh at, something we can crack jokes at, which is why we never did albums that we like, because we just sit there in silence listening to it. We're going to try and get that sorted out, hopefully by early next year. But yeah, sure, we'll listen to Limp Bizkit, Overkill, fuck, why not? Thomas Anderson asks, what are your top 15 bands and artists? Fuck, Jesus. Keep in mind that this is by no means a comprehensive list. This is I'm just rattling off bands and artists. My favorite band has been for a very long time, since I was about 17. The Replacements. Love that band to death. Paul Westerberg's songwriting cannot be touched. Big Star, I got into them around the same time. A lot of bands you can call the American Beatles. I think Big Star are the number one band you can definitely call the American Beatles. Besides them, probably Cheap Trick. Speaking of which, I guess Cheap Trick, fuck it, put them in there. Descendants, and by extension All, I suppose. Great punk rock, nothing to complain about. Megadeth, I've already made videos about why I love Megadeth so much. The Beatles, because of course. The Beach Boys, because of Smile, Surf's Up, Pet Sounds, come on. I don't listen to them too much anymore nowadays, but I guess Blink, come on, the amount of time I spent listening to that band, I kind of owe it to them. The Damned, again, I have videos about why I love the Damned so much. I guess all of Glenn Danzig's bands, but if I had to pick one, I suppose the Misfits, I guess Depeche Mode. I've already mentioned them in this video, but Manic Street Preachers, huge fan of them. Caleb actually got me into them, funnily enough, and their whole 90s output, so fucking good. Judas Priest, because come on, they're Judas Priest. They're Judas Priest. And 15, Alice Cooper. God, the way that man puts on a show. I've seen him live 3 times. Jaw-dropping. And not to mention his actual output is also kind of spotty when you think about all the albums he's put out, but Welcome to My Nightmare and Killer. Come on. Any other band would be lucky to have even one album to approach that kind of high level of songwriting and production and atmosphere, but Alice Cooper did it twice. One as Alice Cooper, the band, and Alice Cooper, the solo artist. But killer Welcome to My Nightmare, fantastic. Of course, there's also $1 Billion Babies, I Love It to Death, Brutal Planets, Razor Fist and Yell. An album I've actually come around to more in recent years is Easy Action. I fucking love that album. It's weird, psychedelic, and bizarre, but Easy Action's really fucking good. Pretties for You is how you doing? It's not that great. But Easy Action, if you want a psychedelic Alice Cooper album, definitely check that out. The Real Deer Lover asks, if you could put Danzig as a lead singer of any band, what band would that be? Venga Boys. In all seriousness, probably something more old school. I would have loved to hear Glenn do more songs in the vein of You and Me Less Than Zero from the film. One of my all-time favorite Glenn Danzig songs. The more I listen to it, the more it kind of goes up there. Like, it's probably up there for me with songs like Hybrid Moments, Sistinus, Going Down to Die, Archangel, Mother of Mercy. In my mind, it's up there with the best. I don't have any specific band, but some band like that, where he could really show off those chops. From Home Alone. Great name. Favorite albums of the year so far? There's been a few. The newest Lemon Twigs album, A Dream Is All We Know, is absolutely fantastic. If you want some stuff that's very reminiscent of 60s and 70s pop and rock, gotta give that a shot. Because every single time I play it for people who don't know, they always think it's from the 70s or the 60s. Like, the way that they are able to get that old school sound without sounding kitschy or too throwbacky like Greta Van Fleet, with some of their actual own identity. The newest album by Magdalena Bay, really fucking good. I only listened to that once. I think Caleb played it for me and watched together, and I really liked it. I liked it more than I thought it would. But yeah, really fantastic synth pop kind of stuff, and I really love the instrumentals on that. Check that out. Prelude to Ecstasy by The Last Dinner Party, I thought was absolutely fantastic. Like, I loved that mix of Baroque pop and more old school rock aesthetics, and just the majesty that those chicks can really bring to a song. Like, My Lady of Mercy is just huge and crushing. Do you like Slipknot? No. Big Bofa Tofu asks, what current book are you reading? I just finished this book, but Life After Death by Damien Eccles. He was one of the members of the West Memphis 3, which basically just this witch hunt attempt to watch the Paradise Lost movies, and you get what happens to them. But basically, TLDR, he was just this weird metalhead goth kid in his town of bumfuck Arkansas, and when some kids went missing, they accused him and his friends of being the ones who killed them, and there's not really much evidence actually linking them to it, and it's still somewhat up in the air as to whether or not they actually did it. Like, there was a false confession that they got out of one of the three, but he was, like, legally retarded. I'm sorry if that sounds crass, but he was, like, legally retarded in the eyes of the law, and they basically just tortured him until he confessed. And there's all these kind of things where there's nothing really linking them to it, and there's also nothing really outright disproving that they were there, but it's also really hard to prove a negative, so I don't know. I don't think he did it. But again, I guess we'll never really know at the end of the day. But this was really insightful, because obviously I knew, he was on death row for like almost 2 decades. And as bad as I already knew death row would be, being in prison for that long, as bad as I already knew that would be, it's even fucking worse than you think. Like, Jesus Christ, the things this man went through. But he made it through the other side, and he's doing okay. So that's really cool, I suppose. Yeah. It's too bad he appeared on Tim Pool's fucking show. Fucking Jesus. Any video games you like to play? My favorite video game series for a time was Saints Row. That fucking went to shit, didn't it? Besides that, of course, I love Grand Theft Auto. Red Dead 2 is probably my all-time favorite video game. I need to play that again, but I lent my copy to my sister, so hopefully I'm getting them back soon, and I'm gonna play through that again, because I haven't played through it in years. Besides that, I love the Batman Arkham games. I've 100% of that entire series, which is surprising. I'm usually not one to do that because I'm pretty lazy. The Crash Bandicoot series, I like Spyro as well. I just finished this actually. I'm slowly but surely actually gonna get a platinum on this. But Astrobot, really fucking fun. If you miss those older games from like the 6th generation, the PS2, original Xbox, GameCube, if you miss those kind of games or wonder why they don't make them anymore, buy this. Another one, all the PlayStation Spider-Man games. Fantastic. I platinumed the first game, and I platinumed the second, but I realized I never actually platinumed this one, so I'm actually making my way through this. All I have to do is, I think I have to play through it on New Game Plus, which I never actually did. So I'm just doing that just to grab the platinum for it. What other content would you like to film besides music reviews? Hope these are good questions. They're fine, don't worry. Wouldn't mind maybe making video game type videos, but I wouldn't be able to make that much because I don't play that many video games, honestly. I feel like I waste my money on a PS5, I swear to God. I boot it up like once a year, I swear. What is the band you mean to see live, but haven't had the chance yet? The Misfits. I need to see the Misfits one of these days. At this rate, my best bet would be to do a GoFundMe or something to actually fund my trip to the States to go see them, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hope and pray that one of these days they actually come to Australia, because come on, dude. If you can play Coachella and play before Charlie XCX, you saying he can't come to fucking Australia? Come on, Glenn. Don't think of it. I haven't seen Glenn in live, period. And he's one of the most, as you can tell, he's one of the most important artists in my life. So I need to see Glenn live at some point. If he ever comes here, No matter what, if it's Danzig or Misfits, I'm buying a ticket first opportunity. Who's better, Husker Du or the Replacements? The Replacements. I love Husker Du. I love Bob Mould. I'm actually seeing Bob Mould in a few days at the Forum in Melbourne. So that's gonna be pretty cool. I'm gonna see if I can try and meet him. I'm gonna hang out after the show. But I'd say the Replacements are arguably the more spotty. And I know a lot of people don't like the last two records, but I love all their albums. Like even All Shook Down and Don't Tell a Soul, despite Don't Tell a Soul's slathered 80s production with all the reverb and delay and the chorus and whatnot, but I really love it. And if you really hate the production that bad, I don't know, listen to that remix they did a few years ago. And ending out our list, we have a question from Adam Chastain. Hot in the Shade or Danzig 5? I'm sorry. You fucking better be. Danzig 5, honestly. Hot in the Shade is so fucking long. It's like 15 songs long. They're just glorified demos, basically. And Danzig 5 at least has its moments where, like, Ashes I think is a fantastic song. I don't mind their cover of Hand of Doom by Sabbath. And Come to Silver, when it's like the acoustic version, I think it was on Lost Tracks in Danzig, is really fucking, that's fantastic. And you can still obviously hear traces of that on the version on Danzig 5. So there's at least 3 really good songs, even though one of the songs I technically don't like that version, but I don't know, that counts for something. Meanwhile, Hot in the Shade has a couple okay songs. There's no songs I really think I like. Honestly, I'll listen to songs like Seventh House a million times before I listen to Read My Body. But that's it. I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. My voice fucking hurts. Thanks so much for watching, subbing, everything. It means the fucking world to me. You guys rule. Especially since you guys... You're very patient. And I appreciate that. Because... Jesus Christ. Oh god, my upload schedule is just a black hole, I swear to fucking god. But anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, click the bell, all that kind of stuff. And until next time, take it easy, party people.